why you're here. We're going to help you to improve your speed, your accuracy, and your confidence. Because if you improve the first two things, your confidence will come right along with that. You're going to understand the why behind installs of controllers, heads, just all the different things that we do. You're going to learn to explain repairs to the clients in layman's terms. When we talk to each other about things, we can use part numbers and all that fun stuff all day, but if you try to do that to a customer, they're going to think you're talking in Mandarin to them. Become the tech that clients request by name. I get that all the time. These are our core values: professionalism, clean look, punctuality, and respect. Innovation, smart controllers, pressure regulated spray heads, better installs. We use Schedule 40 pipe for a reason. Everybody else is using Class 200. Responsibility: educate the clients, save water, and do it right. How to win today: ask me questions, be coachable, help each other out, take notes. Everything here is real field work. We're going to be doing these things in the field too. By the end of this session, you'll learn how to select a clean, logical install location for the controller. Now, most of the time, you're just putting the controller on the wall where you found the old one. Sometimes we're being asked to put the controller somewhere different, and there are things that you need to consider for that. Mounting hardware. Before you go and put all the conduits on the wall, stand back. Look at what you're dealing with and say, I gotta run this over here. What you're trying to not do is overlap conduits, because then that makes it a little sloppy looking when you go to finish the job. Plan wire runs before pulling cable. Stay safe when you're working around high voltage relays. I hope everybody has one of these on their truck, and if you don't go back out into the field without one. All right, multimeter. We do have, I don't have it, it's probably in my bag over here somewhere. Actually, let me pull that one. This right here. Low voltage pen. This is awesome because it'll give you a general idea if the power is on or off, and you would be able to leave it there while it does that until you turn off the breaker, then eventually the noise goes away. But this is what you check before you do a damn thing with anything, because maybe the power is low voltage now. You want to know that, and this will tell you that. Ultimately, always use your multimeter to check for power. Stay safe while you're out there doing this. Don't ever work on a live system. If the power is not off, you cannot work on it, period. Don't try to pull the wire out carefully, put the wire in up. I've done it, I know how it works. Don't do it. If the customer says, well, I don't know how to turn my power off, I'm sorry, we can't do the job today, you gotta call an electrician, have them help you turn the power off. Once you figure it out, call us back, and then we'll do the job then. That's be a very rare situation, but don't hurt yourself. Think through your installs with a service-forward mindset. Make sure that the next guy who comes out to do this isn't going to be dealing with all kinds of, because you cut corners so that you can get your job done, and you got these little short tiny wires in there, and somehow you've managed to get that wire nut on there. Don't do that shit. Find a way to make the wire longer. If you have to put in a junction box to do it, sell it to the customer. Don't set yourself up for failure either. If you see that going into the job, don't just quote the controller. Quote everything so that you can redo all of it. In this case right here, we quoted the entire controller, and we had to redo all the wiring inside of the controller here. This is for one of the controllers at the Panthers arena. Leave the site looking clean and professional, as we always do. Labeling and wire management. Labeling you're not going to do too often unless you're on a commercial property. And I'll say that a few times in this presentation. But I do want to see you guys doing this. I know it takes an extra couple of minutes, and we're going to do it today in practice, because I'm going to have Junior and Timothy install a controller out there, because we know how to install a controller. I know you guys do too. You guys are a little newer. We're going to have you guys do the actual physical install. But when it comes time to do this, we're going to coil the wires for the two valves that we have out there to show you guys how to do that. There are two reasons for coiling. One of the important reasons you still accomplished. Having extra wire in the controller, if you ever change that controller out for a different style controller, and maybe now all the screws aren't here, maybe they're up here, and now you got to reach the wire up there. For that reason, which is really the service forward reason, that's what that's for. The being neat part is important too, because then when you open it, you know that Conserva was in there doing it, because all of our guys do this. Use Tapcon anchors and not drywall screws. Always install on a level surface. I know that it's kind of hard to do that in some cases because all these houses have the stucco on the outside, so they're going to be a little wonky. Do your best to find the best area that it's not going to be too wonky on there. I'm using that word. But what will happen is if you do the top screw and it's a little wobbly on there and you go to do the bottom two screws, what'll happen is it'll twist the controller, and you'll have a hard time getting the door to shut because the door won't shut on it because now the controller is essentially twisted on the wall. Just try to pick the flattest spot on the wall you can find. And when we're replacing controllers, you do have a little bit of play. You don't have to put it exactly where the old one was. You can go a little bit this way, a little bit that way, extend the conduit if you need to. Always install on a level surface. Always use a level to install the controller correctly. I'll even go as far as to use your cell phone. On iPhones, if you type the word measure, it'll bring up a level on your phone. You can download a level app, but your phones have levels in them. Just gotta download the app to use it and put that on top of the controller. Is it as perfect as an actual level? No, but it will get you closer to what your eyes will be able to see. Don't just step back and be like, that looks good, because the customer will see the same thing you saw and might have a different opinion. At least if you can pull out a level and be like, no, look, it's level, I'm telling you. No more argument. The low voltage 24 volt wire and the high voltage 110 or 240 volt wires must be installed in separate conduits. I'm going to point something out in a little bit here on this. There's something wrong on this photo, but you can see here, high voltage, all by itself, and it stays in its own box, and it doesn't go anywhere else. And all of the rest of these wires are all low voltage wires. I am anal about this. Do not, I'll use this controller as an example. Do not run your power wires for your relay into here, shoot them out the side of this box to get them to go up here for your master valve. Now this is the big version of the controller in front of you guys. I've seen it 100 times. The guys will get the power from the relay to power the controller, but then they'll also bring the low voltage wires with that wire into here, but now they need to get the low voltage wires to go to these screws. They drill a hole in the side of this box. Not supposed to do that.
Well, you said what not to do, so what we are supposed to do?
Good question, Fernando. In this same controller, what you're supposed to do is you bring your high voltage wires into the high voltage bag, and then you make your connection in there and you close this. You have several holes on this controller to bring in your low voltage. Now, the hole that's already open, you usually bring in your wires from your valves through this, and then you would open up another hole for the master valve. Now, in some cases, your master valve or relay wires can make it into your junction box that's right below the controller. And in that case, you can bring those wires up with the rest of the control wires, which would go right into this hole. You'd only have one set of wires coming in, and one of those wires would go to the master valve or the pump start relay. They should be separated. When we get into talking about sensors, there's another separation there. Route each of the zone wires cleanly to the terminals. Coils are recommended, but as you can see in this case, coils wouldn't have done very good here. This is a commercial controller. And I didn't do a very good job of labeling all the wires because only some of them have labels, the rest of them are all missing. Can anybody see anything wrong with that photo other than the labels? There's something blatantly wrong, but you might not be able to see it. And I'll give you a few seconds to find it. We're not going to sit here very long. It has to do with the wires, the nut. Good call. You talking about the one that's missing right here? Good stuff. I'm glad you guys are seeing that. I don't know what I was doing in this photo for this day, but I had that off probably to test something and I didn't put it back on. But yeah, that's not right. Don't leave the controller like that. Zone wires, sensor wires, master valve wires, and common wires should be thoughtful so that it is serviceable in the future. We call this service forward. You can see all this. You can see where all these wires are coming from, where they're going to, and it's not all rat's nested up and you're not trying to figure out how they got these wires in here. And when you're doing a commercial controller, number one, I'll say this again later, is you want to take a photo of before you take anything out.
Of course.
But a photo wouldn't have done us any good in this case. Because all it is a bunch of red wires. How the hell am I going to know where any of those go later? So that's where the numbers come in play. Let's say we're removing this controller right now and we're putting in another one. First thing we want to do, because all the red wires are the same color, is go in here. This is zone number one. We want to put a 1 there. Number 2, do that through all the wires. So when we go to pull this controller out, and all the wires start falling all over the place, now we know where they all go back for the new controller we're going to put in. Okay. And you want to leave the numbers on there once you've done that.
Of course.
You might find some sites where somebody did the extra work to number all of them, which would make our job a lot easier, which is what we call service forward. That's why we do that. Before you power up, double check the wiring at the pump, the relay, the master valve, at the controller, at the panel. You want to double check everything because you don't want that to happen. That's a lightning strike. That isn't something bad happened with the electricity. That's a flat out lightning strike, which is another good reason to ground your controllers. But even with a grounded controller, lightning will still blow things up. But again, if you don't want to end up in a situation like that, you want to double check your wiring before you turn anything on. On the clocks that we'll pull out in a little bit, there's a switch on the inside of it to keep it off until you've done all of this, and then you turn that switch on. Confirm the conduit is secured, make sure all the lock nuts have been put on. You guys see what's missing here? There's no lock nut. Now the person who did this probably didn't put the lock nut because that's a 1-inch male adapter, and not a lot of people carry 1-inch lock nuts. You can get them, I have them in my truck. but that's probably why that person didn't do it. This right here, the lock nut isn't even sitting in the controller, it's being pushed up and in. It's not completely tightened down. You want to make sure your lock nuts are all in place and that they're actually locked in. Straps should be installed, a strap should be installed 6 to 10 inches from the controller. So coming out of the controller, that conduit, you need to have a strap for all of the conduits, about 6 to 10 inches, depending on different controllers. For 6 inches is better. If you go to push that conduit against the wall, it might be too tight at 6 inches. So you might need to come down a little bit to push it. That might be 10 inches. So 6 to 10 inches, but you do need to put straps on all of your conduits. Don't just leave them hanging there.
Just one?
Not done yet. Straps should be placed no less than every 18 inches beyond that.
Got it.
No less than 18 inches. I would like to see you guys do 12 inches, but you don't want to go and put a bunch of straps on the wall because then you're drilling all kinds of holes in somebody's wall. So think about what you're doing. Don't overdo that. You only need a few straps. Keep the stuff on the wall. Keep it neat and clean. But for the love of God, don't not use straps, because that looks stupid and silly, because then the conduits are coming off the wall. They're just hanging there. Looks like Joe Schmo showed up to do this. Don't do that. Make sure we're using straps. We're going to do a little core value check here under the guides of the controller. The professionalism here is, does your controller install represent us well? Is it crooked? Is it falling off the wall? Are all the wires hanging all over the place? That doesn't represent us very well. Show up clean, on time, and ready. Communicate clearly with the customer. Bring the customer outside and say, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm putting the controller, the old one's right here, so I'm gonna put the new one right here. We're good with that? Verify that with them, because maybe they were thinking something else they forgot to tell you. They come outside and go, oh, that's right. I meant to tell you, I wanted it a little bit over here. Every job should reflect the pride and attention to detail that we all do show under our work. The innovation here is, are you using the apps efficiently? I use both the Hydrawise app and ServiceMinder the right way. Upload clear photos to Hydrawise so that the customer sees a clean, professional install in their controller interface. Did you test the relay and everything for power safety? Don't leave conduits hanging out, wires exposed. That ain't right. Don't do that. We conserve water and protect property. Don't skip steps. We're gonna sweat a little bit, guys. We're gonna go sit in the shop. We'll open up the door. I've got my drill here. We're gonna take the tools out there.